What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to cover Lucid expanding their retail network with a new studio in New Jersey, and then I'm also going to go over what Lucid plans to do to ramp up production and expansion over the next few years. Now, before we actually get into all that information, for those of you who are new here, my name is Evan, and I make videos that show you guys different ways of making money in the stock market. So if that interests you guys, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss when I upload. Also, if you guys enjoy these types of videos, make sure you guys go down and hit the like button because it lets me know whether you guys like these videos or not. Now, taking a look at where Lucid is trading today, they're actually down 3.2%, and they're trading at about $28 right now, and they're down $1 today. But over the last week, they've actually pretty much leveled out. Now, they topped out at about $29.98, I believe, and that's right at that $30 mark that I've talked about in the past, and I mentioned that Lucid was going to have some resistance at that $30 price point. We've seen them test that price target a few times in the past. It's been both support and resistance multiple times, and right now it's acting as resistance. So if Lucid can get above $30, then I think they could have some positive moves upward and stay above that $30 mark. But right now, I don't think we're going to see any large moves upwards until earnings come out. And for those of you who are unaware or you haven't seen my past videos, Lucid is going to report earnings on February 28th during after hours. And one other thing to mention about earnings, Lucid is actually going to take questions from investors, so you can submit questions and have them answered by Lucid at the earnings call. Now, they haven't specified how many questions they're going to answer or how they're going to choose the questions, but you can submit questions to them through Say Technologies, and I think this is really good for Lucid. They're showing that they care what the customers think, and they want to give people a better idea of where the business is headed and what their plans are for the future. But now moving on to what this video is really about, and that's that Lucid is actually expanding their retail network with a new studio in Short Hills, New Jersey. They actually announced today the official opening of their newest studio location at the mall at Short Hills in Short Hills, New Jersey. And this location serves as the 22nd in the company's growing North American retail network. And if you guys don't know what the studios are for, according to Zach Edson, who's the Vice President of Sales and Service of Lucid, the new studio in Short Hills will bring significant visibility for the Lucid Air in a state that's expressed its commitment to EVs, and it's going to help further their mission to inspire the adoption of sustainable energy. And I think it's a pretty sneaky way of marketing their vehicles by bringing them to malls and having them on display for a lot of people to see. And just as a little more information about this studio, every Lucid studio offers a digitally oriented luxury experience tailored to each customer's preferences. And this is whether they visit in person or make an inquiry entirely online or combine the two. The studios allow customers to experience the brand and obtain information about their products in locations that underscore the company's unique design aesthetic. And anybody who visits these studios is going to get a vision of how the company draws inspiration. And in addition, Lucid Studios augment the physical experience of seeing and touching a Lucid Air with an elevated digital experience using 4K VR. So I think that's pretty unique, and I haven't heard of that from any other car company. Maybe it's out there and maybe it's happened before, but I think this is pretty unique for them to allow customers to virtually tour their vehicles and get an idea of what the vehicles are really like. I think this will really get a lot of people talking because word of mouth marketing is one thing that you really can't overlook when you're marketing something like an electric vehicle. People need a good experience from the beginning, and I think something like this, which is so unique, is really going to spread that through word of mouth marketing. And it's not like Lucid couldn't use the support right now because their stock has actually shed 35% of their value over the past 3 months. Now, there's obviously a bunch of reasons why this is happening right now, but growth stocks specifically have been taking a beating because of political tensions between Russia and Ukraine, as well as challenging macroeconomic conditions. And then there's also the end of the stimulus package and rising inflation rates. And so all these things combined really does hurt a lot of these growth stocks, and specifically the technology and EV sector. But with that said, Lucid is still expecting to ramp up production in the next couple of years. They're planning to invest a cash pile of roughly $7 billion to expand their production capacity and potentially enter into new markets in different countries around the world. Lucid does currently have the funds for its expected production and delivery ramp in the next couple of years, because in September, with the quarter ending, they had $4.8 billion, but they later added $2 billion more in a senior note offering. And so with cash of more than $6.8 billion, Lucid is arguably one of the most financially flexible EV companies right now. And in terms of expansion, Lucid plans to enter into multiple markets outside of their home in the United States. For example, at some point they do plan to expand into China, which does boast some of the highest EV adoption rates globally. And the Chinese government plans to have more than 20% of all new cars be EVs by 2025. Now, I've mentioned before that China wants to get rid of gas-powered vehicles entirely by 2025, and I don't know necessarily how realistic that is, but a country like China could easily implement some new law and just ban gas-powered vehicles outright, and so all of a sudden you'd need to have an electric vehicle. So if Lucid can expand to China by 2025, that would definitely help up the stock, and that would get a lot more people interested in Lucid. Now, I know a lot of people are investing in Lucid right now because they are a US company, but that wouldn't change anything. Tesla is also a US company, but they still sell vehicles over in China. It's just a good business plan to expand into as many countries as you can. And Lucid also has pretty immense potential in the European market, because in 2021, battery EV registrations in Germany alone grew by 83% year over year. This stat basically suggests that EV purchases formed a substantial proportion of new vehicle sales in the country last year. And if Lucid announced expansion into the European market, this would further solidify the bull case for this stock. And then you also have to keep in mind the Saudi Arabian fund that's currently buying into Lucid stock, and they currently own about 62% of Lucid. The Saudi Public Investment Fund has billions invested in Lucid, and Lucid also has been in talks of building a manufacturing facility in that region. And that, of course, would fuel future growth as well. Now, of course, all this means basically nothing if Lucid can't actually start mass producing their vehicles. Now, while Lucid has reported massive growth in their Lucid Air reservations in the last quarter. Specifically, reservations increased by more than 4,000 from the September quarter, up to 17,000 by mid-November. This doesn't necessarily mean that they're growing quick enough to establish enough confidence in investors for people to hold on to this stock long term. Investors need to know that Lucid is going to be able to expand and do so rapidly over the next few years. Otherwise, people aren't going to continue holding positions for years to come. Right now, Lucid actually plans for 2022 to produce and deliver 20,000 vehicles. This is a major catalyst for Lucid right now, but we have to wait and see what Lucid reports for their Q4 earnings on the 28th before we can start looking into 2022 and deliveries for this year. I do think, though, any updates in the reservation numbers is going to bolster investor confidence, and I think that's going to get more people holding Lucid stock. And so there are a lot of things to look forward to, including the Gravity SUV that Lucid has been talking about. But one thing to keep in mind with such a young company like Lucid is that when there's any production or delivery delays, this is going to significantly impact how shares of this company are perceived in the market. Pretty much any setback or delay with customer deliveries is going to weigh pretty heavily against prospects of Lucid. Now, this holds true whether the issues are internal or external. So just keep that in mind if you guys are investing in Lucid. I know a lot of us want Lucid to be a long-term play, but we also have to look in the short term and look at these setbacks that could hold Lucid back for quite some time. So pretty much all I'm saying is just weigh your risks when you're investing in newer companies. Just make sure you guys do your research and make sure that you're okay losing money when you're investing in newer companies like this. Now, I want to hear from you guys down in the comments, and I want to have discussions with you guys about whether you think Lucid can actually produce and deliver 20,000 vehicles this year. Personally, I'm not going to make any predictions until I see the Q4 earnings and see what they've done for deliveries so far. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments and whether you think this 20,000 delivery goal is achievable. Also, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like because it really does help out the channel. And with that said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you back here in the next one. Bye.